Welcome back to Scary Hours. I'm your host, P. Shout out to all my returning horror fans, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that bell before you go so you know when I drop a new video. Folks, we're close to wrapping up spooky season, so tonight we're diving into a spine-tingling HBO Max marathon designed to unlock hidden gems, cult classics, and social thrillers that'll haunt your Halloween. I'll walk you through 8 films, each one a masterclass in fear, style, and subtext. So dim the lights, grab the popcorn. Let's dive in. The Monster, a 2016 horror film directed by Brian Bertino starring Zoe Krazan and Ella Ballantine. Stranded on a remote road, a woman and her daughter are stalked by a vicious, evil monster. Alright folks, we'll kickstart this list with a road trip straight into your nightmares. The Monster pairs mother-daughter drama with relentless creature feature horror. I don't know if you feel the same way, but in my opinion, A24 is always on top of their game when it comes to horror movies. And this one's no letdown, with a good plot exploring trauma and addiction, played out through Zoe Krazan's performance of raw energy as a troubled mom, and using the monster as a metaphor for inner demons and the things she's dealing with. It's a good slow burn paced movie with lots of dread and tension built over the time of being stranded roadside, waiting for AAA or some kind of help while a bloodthirsty monster lurks in the rainy darkness, and it's nice practical effects for the creature look. If you've never seen this movie, make sure to bump The Monster up a few spots on your watch list. Next up, Get Out, a 2017 psychological horror thriller directed by Jordan Peele, starring Daniel Kaluuya, Allison Williams, and Lakeith Stanfield. When a younger African-American man visits his white girlfriend's family estate, he becomes ensnared in a more sinister reason for the invitation. Jordan Peele's debut horror movie shattered genre boundaries and turned psychological horror into sharp social commentary, unpacking racial tension through a guise of a classic in-laws gone wrong, guess who's coming to dinner type of setup. I dig it because I might know a few guys living through something like this right as we speak that ain't paying attention enough to realize they need to get out. But Daniel Kaluuya handles the situation how he should, recognizing the vibes were off and making a move to escape that nightmare. Being surrounded on this huge estate makes it like he's trapped on an enemy island. Great cinematography and certain frames really hit hard to deliver an unsettling feeling, and the sunken place sequence is no doubt one of the most chilling images in modern horror. The movie was highly praised on release and the themes remain timely, so make sure to check out Get Out on HBO Max.
Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Next, Evil Dead Rise, a 2023 supernatural horror movie directed by Lee Cronin, starring Alyssa Sutherland and Lily Sullivan. A woman's reunion with her estranged sister becomes a blood-soaked fight for survival when an earthquake uncovers a flesh-possessing ancient evil. The 5th installment to the Evil Dead series, still carrying everything that longtime fans of the franchise want to see, plus relentless enough to scare anybody new to these flicks. This one's a visceral upgrade to the cabin in the woods formula we know and love so dearly, and flips the script into urban decay, with the high-rise apartment becoming a claustrophobic labyrinth of blood and disaster. Definitely more blood than you can handle, with crazy shot angles and excellent practical effects and prosthetics that lend a disturbing hand to the possession and kill scenes. Alyssa Sutherland anchors the chaos because all hell breaks loose once the demon takes over her. Absolutely one of the gems on this list, fitting perfectly for a spooky season night, so put Evil Dead Rise on your watch list.
Mom? Mommy's with the maggots now.
Next up, Maxxxine, a 2024 slasher thriller directed by Ty West, starring Mia Goth, Elizabeth Debicki, and Kevin Bacon. Adult-starred aspiring actress Maxxine Minx finally gets her break, but a mysterious killer stalks Hollywood, threatening to reveal her past. This is one of my favorites on this list because I love Mia Goth in just about everything she's played in. Plus, I'm a huge fan of this trilogy, including X and Pearl. Maxine being the third of the set is a fresh take that twists slasher tropes into something else. It's just a campy, fun, entertaining watch. Nothing too dark or serious. Excellent cinematography captures the glowing neon aesthetic of the 80s, putting the vibe at an all-time high. A good way to weave in some old school Night Stalker suspense into this plot of Maxine's past catching up to her. Plenty of gore, and like I said before, Mia Goth kills her part. Kevin Bacon in a comical supporting role. X and Pearl are both streaming on HBO right now, so there's a great way to start a movie marathon with just this trilogy. So make sure when you do, you make it to Maxxxine.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Next, Salem's Lot, a 2024 supernatural horror movie directed by Gary Dauberman, starring Lewis Pullman, Mackenzie Lee, and Alfre Woodard. An author returns to his hometown of Jerusalem's Lot in search of inspiration for his next book, only to discover the presence of vampires. This movie is based on the 1975 Stephen King novel and reimagines the small-town dread of Maine through vampire terror. And like I've said before, Stephen King knows how to make Maine feel like a place you'd never want to live in or visit. Now, this one had a lot of mixed reviews, some liking the film, some hating it for not being as good as the original miniseries. But as we all know, not much of anything ever compares to an original. I think the new Salem's Lot adaptation works just fine as an expansion of backstory and a fresh intro for new generations. It's perfect for an October night watch with some interesting characters, plenty of vampire scares. It's shot well, showing off polished visuals to remade iconic scenes, and the dense fog-covered streets pull off the intense, spooky nighttime atmosphere. So if you're a fan of the original or even the 2004 version, give this one a look, and if you're new, then I'm telling you, Salem's Lot can be a great addition to your Halloween marathon.
He's a monster.
So I'm gonna go old school with Christine, a 1983 horror film directed by John Carpenter, starring Keith Gordon, Alexandra Paul, and John Stockwell. Follows a nerdish boy who buys a strange old car with an evil mind of its own. Y'all don't know about Christine, another cult classic from the mind of Stephen King, based on the novel of the same name. John Carpenter's high-octane adaptation of the killer car story roars with teenage obsession, putting together the intoxicating allure of material objects and adolescent infatuation. Telling the story of Arnie Cunningham, a bullied, nerdy nobody becoming somebody, all because he's the new driver of a shiny red and white 58 Plymouth Fury with a deadly, jealous personality of its own. The old school look and feel of this movie alone makes it an excellent October night watch, and not to mention John Carpenter's synth-driven score synced up with Christine's engine to a hypnotic effect, letting you know it's about to go down. I think this is an often overlooked horror classic, and you can't go wrong revisiting any of John Carpenter's hits during spooky season. So make sure to put Christine on your watch list.
I had a car like that once. He killed himself in it.
Now, It, a 2017 supernatural horror film directed by Andy Muschietti, starring Alexandra Jensen and Joe Bird. As kids vanish throughout town, a group of outcasts must face their biggest fears and a terrifying murderous clown. Definitely another gem from the mind of Stephen King, one of the only movies to ever scare me for real as a kid, because of course Tim Curry was terrifying back then. But now bringing Pennywise back for this new era with a darker tone and atmosphere, Bill Skarsgård playing as the dancing clown is pure nightmare fuel. Even with how animated he acts, he just makes Pennywise feel so vicious and menacing. I'll give you another great reason to watch It, the OG classic and the sequel, which isn't too bad, are both on HBO Max, but the kicker is the new series Welcome to Derry just started and will be airing their second episode early for Halloween. So there's no better time to step in the world of It than the present.
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too.
Finally, Trick or Treat, a 2007 comedy horror film directed by Michael Dougherty starring Dylan Baker, Anna Paquin, and Brian Cox. 5 Halloween stories about a principal's secret life, a virgin looking for her first time, a group of kids pull a prank, a woman who loathes Halloween doesn't respect the rules, and a mean old man meets a demonic trick-or-treater. I saved the best for last because it doesn't get much better than this when thinking of a festive movie. Kind of like how the Christmas Story is tied to Christmas. You just gotta turn it on. This is probably my favorite movie on this list, especially being a major fan of anthologies. We have one here that embodies every Halloween ritual in the candy-coated nightmares. 4 interlocking tales tied together by the new horror icon, Trickster Sam, because he's definitely a mascot for Halloween horror now. But the stories all celebrate and critique Halloween customs, delivering some grim segments full of dark humor and terror. I can't think of a movie more on point for the season, so definitely top off your movie marathon with Trick or Treat.
Be quiet. You'll bother the neighbors.
Thanks for joining this Scary Hours deep dive into 8 horror movies streaming on HBO Max for the perfect Halloween marathon. These 8 horror masterpieces are ready to transform your living room into a haunted house. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the hidden corners of horror. Also, drop a comment below. Which one will scare you the most? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And until the next time, keep those nightmares alive. Y'all be safe out there.